Hey guys, Brother John here, and today is a rebroadcast. Now, it's not because I'm lazy. I always look for things not to do, but it's the reason being I did a last year podcast called Calculating Easter, where I talk about East and West Easter, how those dates are calculated, and why they're important. And so it just so happens that Easter happens the same time for the Eastern Orthodox and Western calendar this year, April 20th, and I thought, let's bring this back out and enjoy it. So, without further ado, a rebroadcast of Calculating Easter. Enjoy. Well, Easter is upon us. It is one of those just perfect Sundays where so many great things happen, and we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. But why in the world does the date change every year? Well, it's based on the fact that we are Christians whose religion is taken from Judaism. And Christianity, while it is based on a solar calendar, Judaism is based off of a lunar calendar. And for a long time, the association was with the fact that it was after Passover. But this year, actually, Easter is before Passover. So how is this all happening? Well, it's a little confusing, but hopefully I can shed some light on it for you today. Now, just first of all, so you know, there is a specific formula for Easter. The formula for Easter for the Gregorian calendar, which is typically what you observe if you are a westernized Christian, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment, but the formula for Easter from the Gregorian calendar is as such. It is the first Sunday after the spring equinox, following the first full moon. That would be the first Sunday after the first full moon, following the spring equinox, right? So that's how we calculate Easter. So again, we have the spring equinox that will happen, and it will be the first Sunday after the first full moon of that spring equinox. Now, that comes from first of all, we can predict, right, that the first Sunday after would be from Matthew 28:1, now after the Sabbath, following the dawn of the first day of the week. So that's Sunday. So we know Easter is on Sunday. And then the spring equinox, we see this as we look at the feasts there in Leviticus 23, verses 5 and verses 6, because this is a feast that would be celebrated on the full moon after the first full moon. So that's where we get all of that. Now, our Easter is based off of a recurring sequence now of 19 dates. So there, mathematically, if we take this time that we have of the first Sunday after the spring equinox, after the first full moon, mathematically we come up with 19 viable dates. Now, I would love to tell you that it is just a clean, fresh pattern of 19, so that every 19 years the date rolls around, but it is not like that at all. So the dates, this does repeat. It is cyclical, but it is cyclical every 5,700,000 years. There is this entire sequence of dates that go around, and then in 5,700,000 years it repeats. So it's hard to predict. We do, because of all of this, we do know that Easter will never be before March 22nd, nor will it ever be after April 25th. That's on the Gregorian calendar. Now, if you look at the Julian calendar, you will see the Eastern Orthodox dates for Easter, and they most oftentimes differ. And what is up with that? Well, okay, So the Gregorian calendar was codified in around late 1500s by Pope Gregory the 13th. He said, let's leave the Julian calendar and let's go to a calendar named after me, because that's way better. And he did this partially because he wanted to minimize the window of opportunity for Easter to fall. The problem was the Julian calendar is observed by the Eastern Orthodox, and the Eastern Orthodox and Western Christianity split in 1054. So 500 years later, this papal bull from Pope Gregory the 13th stipulating that the Gregorian calendar would be the solar calendar that would be followed, well, that has nothing to do with Eastern Orthodoxy, because they don't listen to the Pope because of the great schism that happened 500 years before. So that's kind of amazing too. So that's one of the reasons we have the two Easters, the Western Easter and the Eastern Easter. And that's why we have this rotating date, because this is based off of a lunar calendar trying to make it a solar calendar event. And the only way that you can do that is to have some rules, but to know that the date's going to change every time. And so that is calculating Easter. Now, if you would like to look on the show notes, I have added what's known as the Penrose algorithm for calculating Easter, and it is a mess. It's like 10 different steps for a computer program to calculate Easter. And so I hope you'll enjoy that. I'll include that on the show notes. And so just remember, Easter, in the westernized Christian view, first Sunday after the spring equinox and the first full moon. All right, so now you've got it. I think, you know what, I think I'm going to do this too. I will post the Easter dates on my notes up through 2040. So hopefully you'll be able to plan well ahead. And now for a good word. Okay, sometimes I just want to help you have just this amazing library. And so there are some reference books, and these reference books are old, but it will make your library look so smart and so noble. And I'm going to tell you, you can buy them on eBay or something like that, or very, very used. It is the Dictionary of Hymnology by John Julian. It's 2 volumes, and it is the go-to for hymnology, at least any hymns dating before 1908. After that is a little bit more of a toss-up, but the second edition is what I have, the 1908 edition. Now, that is the Dictionary of Hymnology by John Julian. However, if you just want this for free and you want it online and you want it a little more fresh, hymnary.org. Most of its entries at hymnary.org, hymnary.org. Most of the entries that would date before 1907, of hymns 1907 or before, are taken from the Dictionary of Hymnology. So that's hymnary, hymnary.org. Now there is a paid site that also you can use for hymnology. It's the Canterbury Dictionary of Hymns. You can look that up online. I have a subscription to it, but it's pretty pricey. It's like about, well, it's in English pounds sterling. So you got to kind of know the exchange rate. And so while that is kind of like Easter, while that is constant in England, the exchange rate is always different. So this year, I think it cost me $113 for my yearly subscription to that. So there are different things, different ways that you could subscribe, and different ways that you could get the information that you would like about hymns. The freest version, again, hymnary.org. If you want to make your library look cool with 2 new volumes, or 2 very old volumes, I should say, the Dictionary of Hymnology by John Julian, and then you can pay for a subscription to the Canterbury Dictionary of Hymnology. Some great articles. I keep up my subscription because the articles are so fantastic. And so that's a good word, and that is your Monday morning worship leader. I am so glad that you continue to listen to this podcast, and I'm starting to get more and more listens and downloads, and I'm so excited about this. If you want to reach me, go ahead and email me at john@biblicaltrumpets.org. john@biblicaltrumpets.org. I would love to hear from you. You can either email me, or if you like to make a comment, you can send me an MP3 of your comment, and I'll put it on the podcast. Just remember, my friends, we are not rock stars. We are servants. I'll see you next week.